Well, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to the foolish world of FoolCraft. And we're here in the city of maybe, overlooking the town from high above, keeping all the ruffians at bay so the BOO can work. This is just some of my jobs as a swarm protector here, Aquascar, of course, covering my face so not to give away my identity via a pork chop. That's right. Welcome back, guys, and yeah, we're just looking out over the town, making sure no ruffians disturb BOO as he builds below, but we have a lot of work to get done today, and the first thing I gotta show you is my science work. That's right, Scar does science today. I've had nothing but trouble with these storage drawers. Complete disaster. As you remember from the last episode, I couldn't put more than, like, say, one drum magazine in at a time, and it was super frustrating, and I still really have not figured out another way of doing it. Reading through the comments, there were some suggestions, but unfortunately I've been unable to make them work. But one thing I was able to do, and let me show you this. I think this is going to work. It's not the best solution. So of course, if you guys have any better ideas, hashtag storage, and then tell me what that is in the comments, please. I need you. So we have this built up here. We'll do this a little bit nicer once we're in the shop, but we have multiple of these big drummy boxes in there, right? We got the boxes in there, but watch this. Oh yeah, that's right. We have them in the hopper. So if we just dump them all in here like so, these things will go in and they'll store one at a time. And then as they're taken out, they can be replenished from the back. So I think that's what we're going to do. So of course we're going to fix it up. We're going to make it fancy so it doesn't look ugly. So we'll jazz it up, you know, make it all cool and all. Oh man, this has been really frustrating. Other problems are, of course, once we put guns into the boxes, they turn like white, black, or purple. No, pink. It's very strange. I think it's almost the whatever the sky color is. That's what I think it is, because I was looking at it and it was nighttime and they were all dark. Daytime they were white, and then at dusk it was pink. So I'll show you guys that in just a minute. But I've tried everything. I've tried the compacting drawers. I've tried a lot, guys, but I think we finally got a solution. So let's head into the shop, and here at our floor, right here, these little sconces. Now, we talked about these in the last episode, like why aren't they emulating light more than they are now? Solution is to take actually these back panels out and put a bunch of the glowy blocks behind here, and then put one panel of the standard material in front of it, because, you know, if I just do like 4 or 5 pixels of the glowing block that, you know, emulates light, that is my problem. Like, that's just not enough to produce a bunch of light in here. So thank you for that, guys. I didn't quite know, but yeah. I Scar the noob, clearly, in the last episode. Also, I'm kind of loving this staircase. This thing looks super fancy. Like, this looks like straight out of, like, I don't know, like Ricky Ricardo's gonna come down there in the Tropicana or something. I've watched a lot of I Love Lucy. But yeah, this totally looks period Pacific. I absolutely love it. So that's looking super sweet. Yeah, so let's head into the shop and let's round the corner and in we go. And oh man, I love this thing. And you guys came through big with the names. See, look. They're all like the sky color right now. See, it's daytime right now. I guarantee you when it gets dark out, those things are going to turn dark, and at, you know, dusk or dawn, those things are going to turn pink. Anyway, we've got this thing looking super snazzy. So we've got the, you know, ammo boxes on one side, we've got the gun boxes on the other side. We've got these incredible chisel and bit details. Look at that. Look at that. It's amazing. Oh, absolutely love it. Looking super snazzy. And we got that built. We've got our little gun workshop right here with our super fancy Tommy gun. And this, my favorite thing in the entire shop, is this light switch and the little power cord that's tacked to the wall. And I love that some of you guys went and researched what, you know, 1920s style electricity looked like, or electricity conversions, where they just tacked it up on the wall. And you're like, Scar, you're right. And I was like, I know, I try really hard when I build. I do my research, guys. I do my research. And this is my favorite thing in the entire build, by the way. But anyway, thank you so much also for all of the suggestions on names. Like, you guys came out really big. So I have 2 names. And I want you guys to vote on these. I'm going to put a poll up there, and in the comments, write the comment that you like best. So first one is Guns of Scarnia. That's right, because of the wardrobe here. I love that comment. So Guns of Scarnia. So that's going to be amazing. And then the other one is definitely not a gun shop. Definitely not a gun shop. And then put other, and then put something else you guys might want. But I can't decide between those two. Those things are really great because it's like a secret gun shop, and then the other hand, it's a wardrobe. on the other side of the wardrobe. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, we've got to get going today. Enough lollygagging around. Let's get a building. Everything is set and ready to go. I think this is going to work perfect. So I've got the hopper. I've got the golden chest to replenish the storage doors because, like I said, we can't seem to put more than one item in it at a time with magazines and guns. Anyway, look at these lines. So, of course, this is 00 Avenue, named after the notable B00. And I think this is looking really cool. So we have these intersection markers right across here. And of course, they're kind of worn in these two sections because tires roll over this quite a bit, generally in the same pattern. That's why you see, you know, big like kind of rivets in the roads from, you know, tires constantly running on the same section of it. So I think that's looking really cool. I've added a bunch more little cracks, more drains, more water in the gutters. So I think that's looking really cool. It takes quite a bit of time because I don't like to copy and paste the cracks. I like to do them as best I can in terms of original because each little crack has its own little story on how it happened. So I try my best to keep them as original as possible. So let's head inside and get busy. So I've experimented with this on this side of the wall. So I think it's going to work out really cool. We're going to do double hoppers heading outwards and then a chest right here. And we'll expand out this back section to cover up, you know, the hoppers and the chests. So say there would be like, you know, hopper. Actually, this hopper would be behind the wall, and then I put a chest on top of it and we could fill that up. So I think that's going to be amazing. So let's get busy. Now, this one's a little bit harder than I thought. And I'm just kind of realizing a couple things because I kind of only tested it over there. We kind of have a staircase behind this. Oh my. So if I cut these two sections out, right? And then how am I actually going to put the hopper against this? You know, it's easy over there. I can just remove the wall, hook it on the back, but I don't have any access back there without taking out the entire wall because like just beyond this area right here is the furniture shop. The staircase is like right along these lines. Oh no, because I would have to go like this. And then I just realized two other additional items. How am I actually going to get the chisel and bits across here so it's just a clean surface? I can't, and I don't want to have it like that. That's super duper ugly. Oh, this is not good. And of course, yeah, I can't open it either. Back to the drawing board we go. After much failure, the most critical of all moles has helped me figure out a solution. So Critical Mole of the FoolCraft development team has figured out a solution for me. So a huge, huge thank you. Can we get some nice words written down for Critical Mole for helping me on this one? So what I need to figure out is that I only have one space to work with. And it has to be able to, you know, connect to the storage drawer, implement items into it, right? And it also, like, I can't access it very easily without taking the wall down. So the only possible thing we've come up with is using this item buffer from the Ender IO. It's actually kind of an expensive item, but I was able to get a few of these. So I need to do the push. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill this thing up, right? And it should have moved the items into here. Oh, it did. Oh, this is so, wait, oh, what is this? What kind of witchcraft and wizardry just happened? How did these magazines fill to 3 right here? But I just don't know how that did that 3 stack. I've tested this a couple times and I've never seen it do this. You know, I fill it from the back, I fill it up in here, and then it disperses into this storage drawer, but never to 3. Oh, that's so interesting. Wow, I don't even know what to say. Like that's super weird. Okay, so that gives me at least a little bit of hope that maybe... Whoops, sorry about that, guys. That was inappropriate of me. That gives me some hope, actually, that maybe we can figure out how to eventually make these storage doors hold all of the items that we need without doing any of this magic from the back side. So, that gives me pause because I'm trying to figure out how this might work. Anyway, so let's go over here, right? And we're gonna take out these blocks real fast, like so. And then we're gonna drop this guy back there. Okay, I actually need to get those because I need to replace that block right there. So let me just open this up, grab those back, okay? So I'm gonna stick this here, okay? And then I'm going to configure it so it pushes or pulls. Come on, give me a pull. There you go. And then I'm going to replace the drawer here, okay? So I'm gonna put the drawer back right there, and I'm gonna fill, if I can control myself, there we go. I'm gonna control this from here, and that should disperse those into there. And did we get that extra? See, it didn't do it that time, right? It didn't fill that extra space. And I know some of you guys had mentioned maybe using some of these upgrade modules. Unfortunately, as best I could figure out, these unfortunately don't work. So, I mean, they'll work for, say we have it full of bullets. We can have more on each one for bullets, but for these pieces, unfortunately, didn't work. But we got that back there. It's going to fill it up, and that's going to be amazing. Oh, very, very happy. So now the treacherous feat of trying to fill each and every one of these things and remove those blocks, add those little item buffers back there is going to take quite a bit of time, but somebody's got to do it, and that's a Scar. So let me get to it. A lot of progress done here. So I have been crafting like crazy, getting all of these magazines made, all the different bullets corresponding with the particular guns. Like, this is a very intensive mod because, you know, each gun fires a different bullet, needs a different magazine and or clip or big green boxy thing. It's quite an ordeal, but this is what I've got as a system. So at the top here, these are miscellaneous guns. So we've got rocket launchers, we've got the sniper rifles, we've got the heavy machine guns and things along those lines. Down below here, these are going to be handguns, submachine guns because they fire similar calibers. And then down here below is the assault rifle. So we've got them lined up and ready to roll. Unfortunately, they are white at the moment, but this one's looking pretty sweet. So that's like a tar or something along those lines. But yeah, that's looking pretty sweet over there. And on this wall over here, I'm still kind of working out the full organization. So we have those kind of controller things behind the walls, and those are filling them in. And it's so weird that sometimes you can put, you know, multiple in a stack, but never more than 3 I've found. And it's just random if it does. I've also made some grenades, so these things are kind of amazing. See, 3 on that one, but I guarantee you over here, no, see, just nothing. What about this one over here? 4, that one. I don't know. I wish I knew. I feel like it's just random and it just decides for you. I love this little box. I think this one looks really cool. It's got those green boxy things in there. And I'm trying to keep most assault rifles and submachine guns in the same bullet caliber. So take, for instance, most of these guns, I believe, fire 5.5 something or others. Let's see. I think it is. Yeah. 5.56, 45. So those ones fire that. And then you can find the kind of roundy things over here. And of course, the green boxy things, those fire the same bullets. So I'm slowly getting organized. What we need to decide also is pricing structure. So in the comments, let me know on pricing structure. Wow, I just really butchered that. So down here, just take, for instance, an assault rifle. What if we charge maybe like $50, right? I mean, this is taking a long time to craft these things and get all the resources. I'm feeling like $50 or $100 for these might be a good deal. And then maybe for a handgun, we could bring these in a little bit cheaper just to kind of get people rolling in the store, buy a gun, kind of get addicted to it, get, you know, fun shooting things crazy. And they're like, all right, I'm going to spend a little extra money here and move up to the higher tier things. Look at that. Businessman. Iskall would be proud of me. All right, so let's work on this wall over here. This is going to be the gun rack wall. So back here, what I want to do is I want this just to be a total show wall, just something fun to do with Chisel Bits. So if we do maybe like a little counter across here, potentially doing it in this material going across here, and then the rest of the counter made out of some form of wood. Now I'm really thinking about going with maybe a darker wood, but also trying to stay within these kind of gun boxes work bench design over here. So I think that would look pretty cool. So let me think about this. Let me pick a good design and wood color. And there's some progress for the day. Now, at the very top up there, I'm visioning a place to put our shop name. Down below, that's a good place to either put guns horizontally or vertically. Most gun shops, from the looks of pictures I've looked up on Google, most of the guns are held in racks going vertical. So that's where I think I may go with that. Potentially, we could do a few vertical and a couple little horizontal across the top up there. Maybe use handguns, things along those lines could be at the top. As for up here, I think we could totally jazz this up just a little bit more. And I love the contrast. I like the darker wood with the lighter background there. I think it looks really nice. So let's dive in together for a moment. So how about we push this back to about here, right there. And what we could do is we can draw our regions up and we can go about that high or so. I really want this to be a little bit skinnier, so I'm going to quickly give that just a couple clicks. Whoops. Oh no, we're getting crazy. There we go. I don't know what happened back here, so let's make a little fix there. That should fix it up. Oh, looking good. Okay, now as for this part right here, so this would be kind of the countertop. I was considering doing it in maybe like a darker color similar to the posts on our left-hand side there. But I'm not 100% sure. So these are the two colors that I've been kind of working with down here. I don't know what this one is. This one looks to be a little bit more reddish, like it's got a little bit of a red tint to it. Why don't we throw it in, just see what happens, right? Let's just throw it up there and see. Okay, so it's a little bit lighter, as you can see. We could totally use that for accents, but I'm gonna throw that to the side and maybe bring you into the inventory here. Let's see what this looks like. Hey, there we go. That got a little crazy. I think I'm gonna back off this, and I'm gonna back off that. What if we, okay, this is the background color. Oh, let's try this darker color just to see where it kind of takes us for a minute. You know what? It's not half bad, but I wish it had just a smidge of texture, right? Don't you just wish it had just a little bit of texture to it? Okay, I'm liking that to a degree, but I'm gonna hold off for now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this all in this standard color that we have going across here. The reason being, it's gonna give us a little bit of time to see what the structure looks like. And then from there, we can be like, okay, no, I'm going to change the color to this, that, or the other, but getting a look at what the structure of the whole thing will look like, I think will help us quite a bit. So if we bring this all the way down to the bottom here, there we go. And that's leaving one block shy there. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the regions out and I'm gonna pull this out to there. And how's that looking? I like that to a degree. I think we're starting to get a little bit of extra detail there. And of course we can do some glass cabinets, things like that down below. I think that's looking good. Now, if we take out, let's see, let's go to draw the regions. I want to take this thing, and I don't have any of the papers on me. I want to take this and maybe bring this like maybe 3 or 4 times across so it can separate different guns from each other. I think could look really cool. And like I said before, we might be able to cut this half and then do horizontal guns at the top here, and of course verticals. So yeah, I think that's looking fairly good. I'm trying to figure out where to take this next. Like I'm trying to be like, I wonder if we brought up the tape measure, it might make this a little bit easier because this is built into squares. Okay, what if we say we did one right here? Let's say we do it right here. Let's find it. So it should be on this pixel right there, should be right there. Okay, and if we go 1, 2, so that's 2, correct? So that would be right here. So let's throw in one right there. Okay, so we could do something like that. And then we can run these pieces like so down to the bottom like that. Okay, there we go. It just takes a little bit of time to kind of get a good vision going for this particular design, but I feel like we're getting there. And then we'll put that down like so. And then that can be, the guns can be up here. We can run maybe like this material across here and kind of stack them in there like this is kind of holding them up against the wall. Okay, besides this looking somewhat like a bar, I think we can get somewhere with this. I think this is good. So give me a few more seconds here and figure out this and try not to make it look too much like a bar. Made a little bit of progress on our gun cabinet here, and I think it's looking pretty good. Now, one thing I'm contending with is the fact that it is a little bit fancy. So looking back at the rest of the room, we do have an industrial feel to the area, but we're also in a furniture shop, and I feel like the people who run the furniture shop at the core are furniture makers. The gun sales are just a little something extra on the side here. So yeah, they would want to try to make something look fancy back here. Definitely put their skills they've learned from making beds and chairs and tables out there to good use back here. So that's definitely what I'm kind of using as a bit of a storyline. Now, there's an Enderman around here. I don't know how the Enderman got around here because we have the magma torches everywhere in the city of maybe. So I don't know. He's behind the wall, actually. There's a little bit of a dark space back here, and there's an Enderman back there. Anyway, what are we getting back to work here? One thing I have done is I brought the wood tones, as you can see, back a little bit to a little bit of a darker gray from the more reddish tones. So I think that does actually look pretty good. I just wanted to beef up this section just a little bit, give that just a little extra detail up at the top. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to back that off. I'm just going to go with a nice old big one here. Hold on. I'm going to go, I thought I was going to go with the big one. Apparently not. I will not go with the big one. It is this one. Okay. So we're just going to do a little something like that at the top. I think that gives it just a little bit of detail. And I'm just going to give it a couple little clicks on top. There we go. Back off a little bit. See how that looks? Oh yeah. I like that a lot. Now let's push back here just a smidge. And then let's do this and that. Oh yeah, that's going to look excellent. I am going to make one little adjustment here by pushing those down just ever so slightly. And then giving the entire thing just a one-click punch. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. There we go. So like I said, I'm just going to give this just a little bit of a push down like that. And look at that. Just gives that upper level just a little bit more detail. And of course, our name of the business is going to go on the top right across here. So that's going to look excellent. Okay. Now we got to decide what's going to go down in these cabinets. I feel like that's where maybe the grenades, maybe things along those lines can be stored. On the upper level here, rifles of some kind could be there. And then like we talked about, maybe handguns, things along those lines in a more of a horizontal shape over there. Also, things I want to work on today is some things in the front. Like I want to make the card table where people are kind of guarding the back room with like a little card game, you know, just keeping the time going. Up on these walls right here, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do here. I'm still considering doing another one of those sliding doors on this side. And then maybe over here, this could be for accessories, right? Accessories for the guns. You get your stocks and sights and different things along those lines could definitely be stored over there. Let's see what we could do here. Why don't we jump down here and see about grabbing this out a little bit. And then maybe, let's see, this is going to be a little bit too big. So let's pull in here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's very much too big. How's this doing? Okay, that's 2 blocks. Okay, yeah, we can do 2 blocks and then expand it out. So what I want to do is I want to use the stocks in this little bit of a red color. It'll give it a bit of a contrast pop next to the darker brown woods. So I think that'll look really nice. And of course, like I said, you can just give it a 1 block click. There we go. Actually, we can just dig it up like this. Oh, yes. All right, perfect. So I think that's high enough. I'm going to back it down just a little bit. And then let's take a look at the barrel colors. Now we do have a couple options here. We have a darker gray. We have some lighter grays here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go with this one like so. And I'm going to give that just a couple clicks. Oh, hello. You're not who I wanted. Where's the one I chose? There it is. Awesome. Okay, how's that looking? Okay, I think it's good. I want to expand the top just a little bit off the top here, and I want to give it a little bit of a sight back there, but it's going to take a second to actually find the right spot to put it. There we go. Okay, that's going to start to look pretty good. I think we're going to do is kind of like a stock right here. Yeah, no, this is going to be perfect. So if we do these designs, right? If we do, you know, these things going all the way across, I think we're going to get something really awesome. And also, I think we're good up here. I was considering adding a little bit more detail there, but I think we're good. All right, now it is time to see about making a whole bunch of these guns. Welcome back, putting the final touches on our brand new gun cabinet here, looking super fancy. I love the variation of wood tones and the colors of the steel here, looking very nice. And it's even got that little like pumper thing for a shotgun, looking super fancy. But let's work on this area up here together. We can work on a little bit of like a handgun or something. So I downloaded a new game, and it's kind of awesome. So I haven't played anything but Minecraft for quite a while. Like I just been playing so much Minecraft and FoolCraft. But I thought, you know what, I want to just try something different for a little bit. And I downloaded the Battlegrounds Unknown. That's what the game is. And I had a ton of fun. And I actually got a kill in the game on my 5th game. I know my 5th game, not so good, but I was pretty proud, right? Like I had no idea how to play. I should have watched some videos ahead of time. That probably would have been a smart thing to do, but I did not do that. But it was pretty awesome. I actually got a SCAR, like an actual SCAR gun, and it was really cool. So what happened was I was just cruising, right? I'm cruising in my vehicle and I'm all armed up. I'm armed to the teeth, and I see this guy jump into a house, and he sees me because, well, I unloaded a whole clip just all over the place. It was taking out windows, took out my headlight, and he jumps in there and he hides behind the door. I see this, and he closes the door behind him, but then he opens it, and I'm just like, oh, he wants me. He wants me to go in there. So I'm sneaking around. I see a window, and I just poke my head up there. He sees me, and he just... I feel like he just knew it was going to happen. So I take him out, and it was the best day ever. I was so happy. I was like, I got a kill. I'm so happy. And then very shortly after, I got in a complete ambush. 3 or 4 people just came down on me so hard. I was like, things went well for about 5 minutes today, and not anymore. I'm trying to make little pegs in the board here that holds up this thing. But I'm not exactly sure how that's going to look. But you know what? I'm not too dissatisfied with this. I think it could probably use like a few extra little details here and there. But I'm just trying to add just like I said, just a little bit of variation, just to give it a little detail. There we go. I think that's actually looking fairly good. If we do maybe 3 or 4 more of these, I think that would be excellent. So how are we doing so far? Do these things start to look fairly accurate? I think so. I might do maybe 2 handguns here and then a long gun across here might actually look fairly nice. But yeah, let me work on this just a little bit more. The shop is coming out very well. Now there are a couple things that I still want to add, like a card game being played in the back here. Now an idea from the comments was to add maybe like an electrical box, you know, set up here and then wires crisscrossing out of it. I think could look really, really cool. Now let's head into the shop and reveal the gun cabinet. What in the world? Is there a ghost block chisel and bit? That would be a horror beyond any horror. Oh my gosh, this thing is looking excellent. So as you can see, we finished up the top level over there. Now to the right, it's a little blank as you could tell, but that's okay because I think it's kind of cool to kind of mix it up a little bit and put one, you know, kind of laying down on the table. It just keeps things mixed up and clean. And I'm keeping most of the guns, the prop guns that is, more of a 1920s historical look. You know, they're not anything specific. They're just kind of vaguely gun-like, I suppose. But I'm trying to keep them very kind of period specific. Now I've got a couple ideas that I still want to work on for these walls over here, but they're going to require a few more, you know, resources gathered that I have not found, like rubies, titanium, different things along those lines within the wild. So I haven't got those, so I can't do sights and other accessories for the guns, which are going to go on these other walls. I'm also going to do some crates and potentially maybe like a gun on a bipod, like a machine gun type thing on the ground. I think could look really cool, but that's going to take a very long time with the chisel and the bits. But for now, guys, I feel like the shop is as open as it's going to get for now. I feel like we just need to fill up some of these boxes over here, just get more and more clips and ammunition built up. But I'm pleased with it, and I think people can come in here, start buying them. We need to come up with a pricing structure. I'm still not 100% sure on how much I'm going to charge for some of that stuff, but I want to kind of think about maybe doing that electrical box. So let's think about this here. Let's jump in here and let's look at our options. So we've got a couple grays that we could start with, and that's what I want to go with here for this design. So this one looks a little darker, so I'm going to go with this one. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to block it in like we always do. Just kind of find a little spot here and then start bringing in just a little bit of gray like this. Now the problem with this is sometimes with this particular one, see how it does that, gets a little funky. So if we can find a spot like this, maybe something like that, bring these pieces over here and just start bringing these down and kind of seeing where it takes us. Will we have the box open? Who knows? But what will be done, I think could be really cool, is all the little wires spewing out in all directions. I think could look really cool. So let me play with this a little bit. And there we go. We've got our wires strung around the room, all tacked up, and I think they're looking pretty cool. So we've got an electrical switch over here to this area. And of course, unfortunately, there's no light yet. It's just kind of hanging there. So it's a work in progress in here. So this is a cool little junction box or circuit breaker box, whatever it is. Looking super, super sweet over there. So I think that's looking nice. And I just love all the wires darting about. I think that looks really cool. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a little table here where a card game is underway. So let me look in my materials here. And I'm considering doing this dark orange block here. I think this looks really nice. And then I'm going to go with a nice kind of felt top. I think would look great for like a card game. And I think white cards and like poker chips and things along those lines will stand out really well off of that design. So if we just throw this up here like so, we can get ourselves a really basic design. Now, as for chairs in this area, I don't know what we're gonna do about that. Don't have a lot of room, and this is a little bit lighter than I anticipated. I was hoping to go with a little bit more of a darker look, but I think this is gonna be okay. I think it's gonna be okay. So I'm gonna go about 2 blocks shy of there. So I'm just gonna add just an extra little detail on top. Now, what we need to think about is where this green is gonna go. So I think I'm gonna go with the lighter green. There we go. So I'm gonna grab that and we're just gonna do a quick band off the top here like so. Hello. Hello. Apparently there's not enough because that's all we've got. That's all we got, guys. We're gonna have to use the darker then. That's okay. I'm totally cool with the darker. Let's grab this and we'll run this over here like so. Okay, this is gonna look great. I already see the vision starting to come together. So if we run this a little bit more on each side, and then we add, you know, little cards and poker chips up here. Oh, I think it's gonna look amazing and totally gangsters just kind of hanging out, guarding the gun shop from here. Oh, this is gonna be perfect. Okay, just a few more details and we can wrap this up. There we go. The poker table is set, the chairs, the chips, and the cards are installed. And how did I do? Do you think that is a convincing poker arrangement? As you can see, we've got some chips in the center. Now, the guy on the right-hand side, that guy is making some bank over there. On the left-hand side, not so much, but I'm loving this detail in here. It is absolutely stunning with the big old door and these chairs look great. You know, when you think about maybe kind of the back warehouse gangster area, think maybe a little bit more rundown furniture, but of course this is a shop made of furniture. So they've got some decent chairs over here, and I think we did pretty good for that, and that's looking really nice. So let's head, oh yeah, electrical box. Haha, I love that thing. Look at the detail. It's even got hinges on the back. No detail escapes my eye, my friends. At least I try not to. But let's head into the gun shop here, and it's pretty well stocked. Like, people can come in here, fools can come and get armed up if they so desired. And it's looking pretty cool. So I definitely need to make a lot more guns and a lot more ammo, but it's definitely set up pretty well. Now, back at the wall here, we've got our arrangement set up pretty well. It's just a nice decorational piece in the back. Like I said, I have a bunch more details for here and there. Of course, once I get to the point where I can make some of the accessories part of the mod, which I can't at the moment because some of the ores are ever so elusive. We've got quite a few of them in the last expedition, but we definitely need to find some more. And this has been a really, really fun project. So we're going to be moving on to another project in our next episode, which I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be. I have some ideas, but I have not nailed it down. But I'll definitely be coming back here often to add more details because I just keep coming up with things for this area. But man, this was a really, really fun project. It has really opened our eyes to what is possible, not just with Chisel and Bits, but with modded, and that's really cool. And I love taking any form of Minecraft building to the next level, and I hope we achieve that with the secret arm war and all those details. But until next time, my friends, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And if you believe the video deserved a rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later, and don't forget to subscribe because you just may become scarred for life.